Kaiir Elam could be better than Trey White at taking the ball away. Of course, Trey White's a great cover corner, but Kaiir Elam has potential to be even better, potentially. Once Trey White comes back, I was just thinking about our depth at corner with Trey, Dane Jackson, Kaiir Elam, Christian Benford, and Taron Johnson. Who has better corners than us in the league? That top five is incredible. And I was also thinking forward to already to our next matchup with the Chiefs if we do end up playing them in the playoffs, and we probably will. Do you match up one of those corners straight up with Kelce? Maybe you take Trey White and you match him up with Kelce. You have Dane Jackson and Kaiir on the outside with Taron Johnson in the slot. Our defense could be even better. We held them to 23 and even better.
It's an interesting take. I mean, at first thought, I think I'd be hesitant to move Trey White in basically essentially moving him inside. However, when I think about what happened in this past game, now, Kelce didn't do anything crazy, but he still got his yards. He still did some damage, and it's kind of because we didn't have a good enough guy to take him. So I'm not fully opposed to it. I don't think it's the worst idea based on what we've seen from Dane Jackson, Kaiir Elam, and the limited snaps that we've seen from Benford. Obviously, he got injured. We don't know still quite how healthy he is. But given the depth we're seeing, maybe that's what it becomes. Because we have to remember what happened last season. Obviously, the Chiefs also had Tyreek Hill, but take him out of the situation here. You have Travis Kelce, and you couldn't put Trey White on him because you didn't really have anyone outside of Levi Wallace that you could trust on the outside. Dane Jackson was still developing, maybe wasn't quite there. We obviously didn't have Elam or Benford, neither of those top tier rookies that have looked that good. So the more I think about it, the more I think maybe that is the way we go. I don't think Taron Johnson can take Kelce. I don't. I think he's a great slot corner, but I think he's too small, and I don't think he's physical enough. And then you have Siran Neal, who's obviously a physical player, which is why they put him on Kelce a lot. But it didn't work. He had penalties. He got beat by Kelce. So there isn't really another answer. I mean, obviously you could try putting Dane Jackson on him. You could try putting Kaiir Elam or Christian Benford. However, Trey White is your best coverage cornerback. So don't you want to put him on their best receiver? Like, do you really need Trey White taking Juju Smith-Schuster? Do you really need Trey White taking, Valdes-Scantling? Like, neither of those guys are elite receivers. And I trust Jackson and Elam and Benford already enough to feel that they can handle them. Now, Juju did break out a little bit, but some of that was on the safety work. We're going to get into that in the stock up, stock down segment. But covering this, it is an interesting take, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see that down the line. Honestly, we could see this later on in the season where we have certain teams that we play that have one great player, and they just let Trey White shadow him regardless of where that player is on the field. And you just let Dane Jackson and Elam/Benford handle the outside. I'm not opposed to it. That's probably the way to go. And I actually remember, and I don't recall if it was in the regular season or the playoffs, but Trey White did match up against Kelce a few times, and he actually performed quite well. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I do remember saying, hey, wow, that was a nice play. Trey White took him out. Actually, wasn't there a play where he attacked Trey White on the sideline?
Unfortunately, the playoffs, he did play a bit against Kelce, but we didn't have two Trey Whites to cover Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Now they don't have Tyreek Hill. You put Trey White on Travis Kelce and you take your chances with those other guys. I think all our corners are pretty good. You take away their biggest threat, and that is Travis Kelce. Valdes-Scantling, I don't think he had a catch against us. Juju Smith-Schuster had a good game, but I think you can contain him. We didn't do a good job, but I think you can contain him with our other guys. And when Trey White's back, I think it's, to me, him against Kelce, best on best.